Hi everybody, excited to break down the community of Byron Center, Michigan today. My name is Josh May and we love cruising around town, breaking down all these communities, getting you familiar with everything about living in and around Grand Rapids, communities, schools, recreation, you name it. And like I said, we're excited to be in Byron Center today. Yes, it's snowing, but that's what Michigan's all about. 4 seasons, as mentioned in many other videos. But I'm excited to break down a lot of things Byron Center has to offer, starting with the location. Let's understand where we're at. So I've always felt like Byron Center is a super accessible community. So it's about 14 minutes south of downtown Grand Rapids. But the cool thing is you've got freeways kind of surrounding the community. You got 131 that borders Byron Center to the east. You've got the M6 corridor. So anywhere in or around Byron Center, you can get to Holland very quickly. You can get to Lakeshore very quickly. You got to head down to Chicago, quick freeway access to the south. You want to go to Kalamazoo. Everything is very, very accessible, which I've always enjoyed about the community. So it's a pretty large geographical area. When we're talking about Byron Center, we're going to stay right in that southwest corridor between south of M6 and west of 131. But the school district actually stretches over to the west side or east side of 131, which I'm going to discuss in a little bit. Population roughly 7,500. Byron Center was founded in roughly 1835, but every time I think about Byron Center, honestly, I think about newer community, a growing community, a ton of new construction here that is kind of meshed in with the old farmland. You've got some new lake developments, but overall, when I think of Byron Center, I actually think newer, even though it was established quite a long time ago. So that gives you a sense of the overall location. And next, I'm going to break down some recreational activities in and around the Byron Center community. Okay, so let's move on to some recreation, but before we get there, honestly, I want to take a step back because you can tell that I'm standing in some very large shopping mall and standing today in the Tanger outlet malls, which this is a pretty big deal. It's a newer outlet mall, which I'm going to break down towards the end of the segment, but figured you might want to know where I'm at before we get started. So let's backtrack into some recreational activities. Again, Byron Center is pretty geographically spread out, so you've got a lot of parks. So let's start with the Kent County trail system. So this is a very cool non-motorized paved trail that actually stretches to the south to Byron Center and then heads up to the north, way up to John Ball Park Zoo. So it's a 15-mile biking, walking, paved trail that has some great scenery over the Grand River, and that really starts around the Byron Center. So that would be one great outdoor activity. There's some really cool parks in and around Byron Center. I'm going to start with Whistle Stop Park at the corner of 76th Street and Byron Center Avenue. This is about a 60-acre park. At the entrance to this park, you'll have the Byron Center Historical Society. So if you want to get a little, get your learn on a little bit about the history of Byron Center, you can check that out. But the park itself has just a ton of playgrounds, paved walking trails, obviously a lot of athletic fields, so just a cool place to check out. That's one of the great parks in Byron Center. Another park that I would say is bigger, more well-known is Brewer Park. Now, Brewer Park is within the Byron Center School District. It's technically in Gaines Township, so it's on the other side, so it's on the east side of 131. But Brewer Park, if you want to get into things like disc golf, tons of soccer fields, tons of volleyball fields, walking trails, gazebos, shelters for, not shelters, but I guess it would be a shelter for parties. And they actually even have a cricket course, which you don't have, a cricket field, which you don't have many, if any, in Grand Rapids. So very cool park that's called Brewer Park. Some of the other outdoor activities that you'll get to enjoy in Byron Center will be mini golf courses, mini golf communities. You've got Railside Golf Community, which is the most well-known golf community in Byron Center. And then indoor activities, you've got the Courthouse Athletic Center. So this is a pretty well-known basketball, volleyball. It's about, I think, 49,000 square feet. You've got 8 official regulation size volleyball courts, 6 regulation size basketball courts, concessions. So a lot of cool things to experience as far as recreation in and around Byron Center. All right, so let's move on, chat about some shopping, dining opportunities in Byron Center, and what a better way to start than here where I am right now, the Tanger Outlet Malls in Byron Center. Standing here by the fire if you can pan in on this cold day. But like I said, that's Michigan, that's what we do, is enjoy the 4 seasons. So Tanger Outlet Mall was established in 2015, and it's a pretty big deal in the area because you have to understand Byron Center is not a huge community, it's a smaller community. So the fact that the outlet malls came in at the corner of 84th Street and 131, a really big deal for this community as far as bringing people in to the local economy and helping out. Now, the outlet mall is a really cool place to hang out. It's got a lot of a new feel, everything's nice, it's clean around here, and you've got over 75 stores to just come and hang out at. So really cool place. I would say the biggest, of course, shopping district in Byron Center area is, of course, the Tanger Outlet Malls. But if you cruise down 84th Street, you'll run into the intersection of 84th Street in Byron Center. And I gotta be honest with you, Byron Center, like the city itself, it's not a very big business district. It never has been. The community's kind of spread out, so that might be, I don't wanna say downside, it just doesn't have a huge central business district, but a couple of the restaurants that you'll wanna go check out would be the Alebird Tap House and Breweries, great reputation, good vibe, right there, corner of 84th and Byron Center. Some of the others would be Pepino's. You've got the 84th Street Grill right on 131 here. So plenty of places to enjoy, hit the outlet mall, go grab a beer, maybe even catch a Starbucks, whatever you want to do. So that kind of wraps up some of the shopping opportunities in and around Byron Center. Okay, so one of the other highlights I want to talk about when chatting about Byron Center is the overall public school system. Ranked very high, it always has been. And Byron Center, per niche.com, is ranked number 7 in the greater Grand Rapids as far as overall school districts. Roughly 4,300 students within the entire district. And you've got a teacher to student ratio of 23 students to 1 teacher, so it's smaller classroom sizes. So let's start to break down the elementary, middle schools, high schools, give you a sense of that and some of the opportunities. So as far as the actual elementary schools, you've got 4 elementary schools spread throughout the district. And I think it's important to know, like this is one thing a lot of people don't know about Byron Center, maybe people that are relocating to town, is you've got a pretty big portion of the school district that is east of 131, and that is called Gaines Township Byron Center Schools. But for example, you've got one school there, it's elementary school. You've got Countryside Elementary. A lot of our past clients live there. A lot of our clients live in that area. Again, some newer construction type of developments over there. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that Byron Center stretches to the east over on the east side of 131, Countryside Elementary. You've got 3 other additional elementary schools to the west of 131. And then you got 1 middle school, you've got 1 high school, and then some of the other things that the school features is the Van Singel Fine Arts Center, which is an amazing fine arts center for kids in the school district, and state of the art. The school district makes the fine arts a part of the curriculum here, and it's very important to the district. A couple other things to note is Byron Center's got great reputation as far as athletics, club sports, and it's got an incredible community pool. And the Byron Center Aquatics program gives kids a ton of opportunities for swimming, freestyle swimming, all sorts of water activities. So Byron Center School District, great place, great reputation, you know, in West Michigan for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up, of course, with some real estate conversation. Just give you a sense of what type of real estate is available, what you can expect when moving in and around Byron Center, relocating to town. So let's start with the overall median price range in Byron Center is about $400,000. So median price range $400,000, which is a little bit higher than the West Michigan average. But just going back to the overall landscape of Byron Center, it's interesting because this all was predominantly farmland, probably 30, 40, 50 years ago. You had a ton of farmland. So if you're coming here and you want some acreage, there is still that opportunity. But I would say that for the most part, it's a lot of newer construction. So if you're looking for some newer construction or brand new construction opportunities, Byron Center honestly has more of those opportunities, or some of the most opportunities for new construction around West Michigan. You can get some really cool opportunities around some of the lakes in Byron Center. I'd say Byron Center has some man-made lakes that certainly are all sports lakes. They're a little bit smaller, but if you're looking for new quality construction on some lakes, some all sports lakes, Byron Center has some of those. I was just chatting with someone else about some new condo opportunities, and just condos in general. There's a lot of newer construction condo opportunities in and around Byron Center. But I was doing some digging on some of these stats, and you know, if you're looking for a lot of house for your money in a good school district, Byron Center is going to be a great option. I'm going to throw a stat out at you, which I think is interesting. So, for example, this past year, there was only 4 homes sold over $1 million in Byron Center. And you compare that to a place like Forest Hills School District. Forest Hills had 53 homes over $1 million. So 10 times as many homes in Byron Center. So what that leads me to tell you is you can just get more home for your money if you're looking for a nice, new quality, new construction. There's tons of options, anywhere between that 400 to 800 to 900. You get up in that higher price range, you're gonna get a very, very quality home on some land or a nice community lake. So lots of opportunities for anything you want real estate related in Byron Center. So want to wrap this up by letting you guys know, hope you enjoyed the content. I've been selling real estate in Byron Center for 23 years now. I've always thought it's a great community. If you like this, or if you just have any questions or just anything in general, make a comment below of other things that you might like about Byron Center. We'd love for you to hit the like button. Of course, hit the subscribe button, and we'll keep coming at you with community content about living in Grand Rapids. So we'll see you guys soon. Have a great day.